Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for truly the privilege to be with all of you today. I would be remiss if I didn't comment on the fact that I truly feel I'm the minority here among 5 very accomplished advocates. And so it's really a story to be told, as I was invited by my friend Peter Masiakos to participate, and I've worked with Peter for many years now on gun violence control and things like that. And when I looked at all of the preeminence that was here, I thought this is a story unto itself in a world that's looking for female leadership, and a maternal instinct is maybe the greatest driver for advocacy as I see it, saving lives, but yet it's there. So I do appreciate being with you all today. I'd like to just spend a few minutes and talk to you about advocacy from my perspective, and from a grassroots right up to being Surgeon General, and what I learned. But most importantly, I had a mentor. None of us make it through life or residency without having a mentor to be able to assist us. And I had a few, but one in particular is pertinent to today, and that was Chick Coop. Because I met Dr. Coop when I was a resident at UCSF. And he came to San Francisco General. It was in the early 80s. And as many of you remember who are a little older, we had this unusual disease that was permeating our country, with especially young men with lymphadenopathy and fevers, and we had no idea what it was. Surgeon General Coop came out to talk to us, and around that time, he was in a tough situation because certain members in Congress were telling the public that this was God's way of punishing homosexuals. Surgeon General Coop stood up and exemplified the best in all of us. He said, that's not true. He said, this is an infectious disease that we don't know much about yet, but I can tell you it has nothing to do with religion. Now, he almost got fired for that. The reason I bring that up is one of those hallmarks of competency is that you have to be willing at times to speak the painful truth to those who are elected, because often they only want to hear that the emperor always has clothes, and sometimes the emperor is naked on a lot of these issues. And yet he understood that he may lose his position, but he knew that he had a higher calling as the doctor of the nation. And he continued to advocate, even though he ran into political headwinds, he continued to advocate because he knew this was the right thing to do. Many years, and I might mention, in that room at the time, the term now, in the room, was a number of people that went on to be chairman, and Phil Glick, who was one of my classmates and resident mates, he was there. Julie Gerberding was my intern. She became the director of CDC. In fact, there were about a dozen people there that all went on to be chairs and/or national and global leaders in that room. And I think all of us were impacted because what Coop said to us in the old surgical amphitheater at San Francisco General Hospital is, I am not the doctor of the gays or the straights, the Republicans or the Democrats. He said, I am the doctor for America. I speak truth to power when I have to, and I will always tell you the truth, what makes sense for the betterment of society. And that stuck with me, and it was kind of a motivator. And I remember a lot of us speaking after that and going, holy smokes, can you believe this guy? And, we were young, and he looked like our grandpa, giving us a lesson. But yet it motivated all of us. It's the importance of advocacy. To be an advocate, you have to be competent. You have to be credible. You have to be passionate. You have to be knowledgeable. Your credibility counts because that's a vehicle for you to get the message out. You see people sometimes advocating for something and right away say, I don't trust that person. They've done something bad, whatever. So making sure that you nurture your brand as you go through your training and your education so that your colleagues see you as credible, that when you take the platform and speak passionately about an issue like gun control or human trafficking or any of the other health and social things that interact, people stop and listen because you have the credibility. So all of those are important things as it relates to advocacy, and I think they're exemplified in each and every one of our leader surgeons that are here. And I'm so happy to be able to participate in this panel and really am awed by the incredible work that all of them have done. And I think Bindi is going to talk about that right now and do an introduction to our panelists before we have a discussion. So thank you all for attending, and it's really a privilege to be with you. Bindi, please.